Okay, this video is non-Christian art a joke? And it started from, I'm always looking at art, and I just sort of came across a couple of art books on the internet when I search in art books. And look at these books, non-Christian art. They suck. Okay, a child could, finger paint and put different colors in the periphery. A machine could, or a photograph, you could draw lines. It's bullshit, okay? And the reason I'm saying this is currently Western civilization is being destroyed. It's being sided intentionally, okay? And what I'm saying is, if you don't have Western civilization, you have lost most of the great achievements of mankind, all right? And I think the reason is Christianity tells an individual that there's more to life besides themselves and their family, that what matters also is the whole world, mankind in general, and it leads people to make much better creative achievements. There's still lots of smart people from all these different cultures, but they seldom do much, okay, in terms of artistic achievement. It's just a fact. All cultures are not equal. Look at this. All these non-Christian art books, they suck. Look at this crap. A child could do that. A high school student, freshman could do that kind of nonsense. Okay, now how could you compare that to this GW here at Valley Forge praying by his horse, this painting by Arnold Freeberg? It's a masterpiece. It's awesome. It's beautiful. Okay, and this reminds me of Hamlet. When Hamlet saw, what had happened, his father had been bumped off by the usurper, his brother, okay, and disgusting, poured the stuff in his ear. The play is a thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. Ophelia watching and his friend Horatio watching, okay. What I'm trying to say, that's the difference here. He said, how could you, to his mother, take these two things as being equivalent? This is garbage. This is crap. This is genius, masterpiece, beautiful, okay? Because if you don't value your culture, it's already half gone. It's going to be 100% gone real soon if people don't value it. And so I'm trying to sort of show you what the difference is if you haven't figured it out already. Look at this, okay? This is the greatest sculpture of all time. Of course it's done by Christian. Michelangelo, the Pietà. His mother died when he was about 7 years old, and of course he missed her very much. And this painting of Jesus Christ on the lap of the Virgin Mary is basically like Michelangelo on the lap of his mother. Maybe that's why she's so big relative to him, so to speak, but it's still the most beautiful sculpture of all time. It's just an awesome masterpiece. You're like awestruck to look at it. Okay, now look what modern art museums consider sculpture. These are statues of turds. This is in the Rotterdam Museum, Amsterdam sort of thing. It's garbage. Okay, modern art is garbage. It's fake. I think it's used to launder, dinero. Okay, it's BS. People should not accept that. That's an insult. If you accept somebody, crapping on you, they will continue to do so. You should speak up for what is good, what is true, what is right. Okay, now let's take a look at these buildings here. Okay, here's a cathedral, Amiens Cathedral. Chartres is probably the best cathedral ever in the history of the world. The best cathedrals, they're from France. France just is the best at making a cathedral. They're awesome at it. Look how magnificent, the three doorways, past, present, future, the statues. This is the work of individual craftsmen. It's elegant, it's beautiful, it's good. Everything about it is magnificent. The best buildings ever made, they started making them, over 800 years ago. Okay, now look at a typical modern building. And this is Tom Wolfe, the great American writer, had said, all American modern, buildings nowadays they look like animal cages, and there's almost always a statue of a turd in front. Okay, this is disgusting. Everybody sees this type of thing all the time. Probably where you work looks like an animal cage and has a statue of a turd in front of it. It's disgusting. And like I said too, if somebody, an intelligent person from the Renaissance age came and visited the modern Western world or America today, they would say, what is wrong with you people? Your buildings stink. Your sculpture stinks. Your art stinks. You are barbarians. You are scum. Okay, and I think part of it is sort of a gas, lighting to make people not want to care about their culture anymore. And look at these paintings, okay? And don't listen to all the hype. All the scumbags get hyped up. Here is Picasso. Like Picasso, some great artist. He stinks. He's a okay? He stinks. He's a jerk. Read about his life. Read about the chapter on him in Intellectuals by Paul Johnson. What a scumbag he was, okay? And then also, this reminds me, too, of Virginia Woolf, the writer. She's a piece of crap, okay? She kept trying to commit suicide over and over. What kind of a role model is she for children? Why is she taught to children in school, okay? She's crazy. She's a nut job, okay? And Sylvia Plath also, that's not good literature. That's crap. Okay, now here is a real painting. This is Godspeed by Edmund Layton. He's one of the disciples of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood who sort of came out of the work of John Everett Millay and the idea that they wanted to go back to the true Christian heartfelt feeling and naturalism that was characteristic of the paintings before Raphael. Okay, and John Ruskin also promoted them. I previously linked to his speech, the 1853 speech on the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. It's magnificent. It's the greatest speech ever in the history of art criticism. So anyways, beautiful. Edmund Layton. Just look up Edmund Layton. You'll see one after another masterpiece, just as good as this. They're masterpieces, okay? And then if you want to teach kids literatures, they should be reading things like Charles Dickens. Not Expectorations, Great Expectorations. Everybody hates that book. That's Charles Dickens' worst book. They should read Christmas Carol. That's beautiful, okay? And it's good. Okay, and then next, David Copperfield. That's good and beautiful too. Then Oliver Twist. And if they can handle it, maybe they can go on to Tale of Two Cities. That's a little bit rough for young ones to read, but it's still great stuff. Because Western civilization, it's the greatest civilization that ever existed in the history of the world. It's produced the best art, the best sculpture, the best architecture, the best universities, the best literatures, the best music. Okay, do we really want to let that all be destroyed? Are you stupid? Okay, now here is, Genesis, man created in the image of God. Everything comes from this. There's only two viewpoints, okay? I know there's other religions in the world, but the reality is they don't really matter in America and the Western world. There's only two things it's going to come down to. We're either going to accept this Bible-based worldview of Genesis, that man is created in the image of God, therefore part divine, therefore entitled to rights, intrinsic things like free speech, like privacy, property, okay? Or we are going to accept the current view that is now leading the pack, and that is atheistic Darwinism, which says, no, mankind is nothing special. Atheistic Darwinism has a totally different view of mankind. Atheistic Darwinism says man is just a talking chimpanzee, a talking monkey, and whatever chimpanzee can get the most power for themselves, might is right, survival of the fittest. They can do whatever they want to all the other chimpanzees. So we're either creating the image of God or we're talking primates. And also this atheistic Darwinism worldview, it says that mankind does not have a soul. He's just a talking monkey. He has no soul. He has no intrinsic rights. He's only allowed to do what the most powerful monkey says he's allowed to do. He's owned like property. And you guys don't understand, this is how the world has always been. You're either a free man or you're property. And it's a lot better to be free, okay? And for some reason, everybody just seems to be going along with this atheistic Darwinism stuff. They think it's science. It's not real science. It's nonsense. If you look closely at Darwin, I was A+ student in evolutionary biology at Stanford. Okay, they can't explain origin of life. They can't even explain the origin of complexity. It's far less scientific than you think. Darwinism, when you try to use it to explain these things, becomes a joke. Okay, it can't explain the eye, the brain, the clotting system, the immune system, etc., the flagella, and many other things. But you should not accept this, because if you do, you're going to be sorry in the long run. It's going to lead to a removal of all your freedom and property. That's what it's designed to do. That's why a ruler wants it. Because if there's Jesus Christou ruling from above, then everybody's got to be good, and there's an appeal to an outside authority of what's right and what's wrong. If there is no God, capital letter G, God up there in the sky running the show and who we're accountable to, then the ruler becomes equivalent of a lowercase God, and they can say whatever they want and do whatever they want. If you look at the Bible-based worldview, there's 10 commandments, there's rules to behave by, there's a moral foundation, okay, which sometimes we don't like it, but it's there, and at least it's there. If you don't have that, you can reason your way to anything, and you end up with this kind of nonsense. You end up with this kind of stuff happening in the public schools, children being tricked into saying they wouldn't mind being the other gender, then they get loaded up with, puberty, blockers, and then they get sterilized for life, okay? Mutilated. Okay, that's brutal. It's awful. This is evil. All right. Okay, so, mankind should be able to have a conversation and work towards the truth, what is best for the group. Okay, respect the rights of individuals. Then you'll have a nice society. And if you don't have that, you're going to get a ruler who just says, do as I say or I'll kick your butt. And that's actually how most places are run, and we don't want that. What is that going to lead to? The Statue of Liberty, the symbol of freedom, is being pushed down into the dirt. And anybody who has an opinion, once that's down in the dirt, will end up like this poor guy. Okay? Do we really want to regress to being like the Planet of the Apes? We really want to let Western civilization turn into just another third world crap hole? I hope not. So anyways, non-Christian art books, they suck. I know there's a little bit of decent art. I know they've got some decent pictures of landscapes, some of the Japanese art, of a tidal wave, Haru Murakami, whatever the heck his name was. I know they've got some good anime comic books, and I know there's been a few good action painters that are non-Christian. Okay, fine. But hardly anything, okay? And so what I'm trying to say is Christianity generates this mindset, and that's another reason, too, why if you want to be a good artist, you want to be a good writer, take on some of the Christian mindset. You'd be surprised. And I even laugh, Ayn Rand, the smartest woman who ever lived, when she started writing about literature, all she did was talk about how great all the Christian writers are. Because it gives a person this worldview that's magnificent. That's why they're the light of the world. That's why they have all the lights at Christmas time and during the winter, whereas everything else is bleak and depressing. So anyways, hopefully the light of the world will not go out.